and welcome once again to the Daytona YouTube channel. My name is Barry Ferreira and today we're going to be looking at a particularly special car. Right here beside me we have the privilege and honor to be looking at this absolutely stunning McLaren Senna that is currently here at McLaren Johannesburg on display here on our circle. We're going to be talking about the car, the specification of this particular car, as well as what makes the Senna so special as one of the Ultimate Series cars in the McLaren range. So what is the McLaren Senna? Well, in 2017 the McLaren Senna was launched as a out-and-out track car that just so happens to be able to go on the road. Of course, the name would suggest that it is a tribute to Ayrton Senna, a multiple Formula One world champion that won 3 championships with the McLaren Formula One team. So much so that some people regard him as the greatest Formula One driver to ever have graced the circuits of the world. And so it was only fitting that as a tribute to Ayrton Senna, McLaren built this absolutely focused track tool. Now this particular car is finished in an elite paint option called Pure White, contrasted with the red aero blades and the red Senna S on the rear wing. Of course, you can see the red calipers to contrast with the white paint, as well as the black, or the gloss black should I rather say, stealth finish wheels. Now in terms of performance, there are very few road cars that would be able to get anywhere near the McLaren Senna on a racetrack. This is mostly thanks to a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 that powers this car, pushing out 800 horsepower and 800 Newton meters of torque. That means it's good for 0 to 100 in 2.8 seconds, but arguably even more impressive, can do 0 to 200 kilometers an hour in just 6.8 seconds. Now that's also aided by the fact that this car weighs very little. 1,378 kilograms is the weight. So without fluids it comes in at just over 1,100 kilograms, and by today's standards it is absolutely light, and that is of course mostly due to the extensive use of carbon fiber. This car is pretty much made purely out of carbon fiber, but we'll take a closer look at what makes this car even more special on track in a little while. Now, the trump card of the McLaren Senna is its aerodynamics. Now, when this car was launched back in 2017, many people were not particularly pleased with the aesthetics of the car, but McLaren didn't build this car to look pretty, they built it to be fast. As the McLaren mantra says, form follows function, and the entire bodywork of this car was created for ultimate downforce so that it could be as fast as possible on track. Now, McLaren actually set out a particular target weight for this car, and then when they reached that target weight, they managed to reduce it by even further 5% lighter weight than what they set out, which goes to show how this car actually takes lightness to an entirely different level. But of course, probably one of the most eye-catching features is this massive rear wing that sticks out at the back of the Senna. I mean, if you just look at the louvers and all the aero that goes on at the back here, everything is designed to absolutely push this car down onto the floor. As a matter of fact, this car can produce up to 800 kilograms of downforce, which is more than half of its own weight, essentially sitting on top of the car to push it down into the ground. Now, as you can see over here as well, we've got the roof snorkel, which is actually functional. It's not just there for the aesthetics of it, and it takes air and pushes it through into the engine to cool down the car when it's performing very quickly on the racetrack. Even the exhaust pipe is there to create a functional benefit for the car as well. With great power and great speed comes very big stopping responsibility, and the McLaren Senna is absolutely no exception. It's fitted with carbon ceramic brakes all round, of course, and what makes these brakes particularly special is it takes 7 months to create one carbon ceramic brake. So it's not just any ordinary brake that is fitted onto this particular car, all in the aid of ensuring that it stops even better than it accelerates. Now, while the Senna may look like a race car, and it does from the outside, on the interior, McLaren have taken that ethos of being as fast and as light as possible and put it into the interior as well. So I think we should go and have a look. Now, while it may be a little bit tricky to get in the car, once you get into the McLaren Senna, it is very snug and very race car, as you would expect from a car like this. Now, As with the exterior of the car, lightweight was taken to a whole new level when looking at the interior of the car. It's bare carbon fiber everywhere, contrasted very nicely with these red seats and the Senna S's on the headrest over here behind me. But even the seats, and of course this is the first time the famous Senna seats were introduced into McLaren models. Of course the likes of the 600 LT, the 765 LT also saw these seats, but this is where they came from, the Senna. Now, even the seats are taken to a next level of lightness. Each seat weighs just 3.3 kilograms and is created with a special hollow carbon fiber. So if you knock against that, you'll actually hear that it is hollow inside to try and minimize the weight. Even inside the car, there's nothing that doesn't need to be here. You've got no fanfare. Air conditioning was an optional extra, just to put it into context. Even though this car is optioned with the optional Bowers and Wilkins sound system, this was also an option that didn't necessarily have to be fitted with the car. This car is fitted with a track telemetry pack as well, so if you want to go out onto a racetrack, you can see exactly your lines and the lap times that you are producing. Of course, this is a track car, meaning there's no luggage space except for one place. There's just enough place here on the back of the parcel shelf over here for 2 helmets, because that's all that you need if you want to take out the McLaren Senna. What makes the Senna even more cool, however, is the fact that the start motor and the door handles and the window switches are not located here in the center console or here next to the door, but rather up here, like, I don't know, fighter jet, which is, you know, it didn't have to be like that, but it's very, very cool. And because race car, and because the McLaren Senna in its standard mode is not low enough, you can actually put it into race mode, which will lower the car by a further couple of millimeters to give it an absolute down on the road stance to be even faster on the racetrack. It's not a road legal option because when it is down on its race mode, the headlights are not at the legal limit. So unfortunately, that is only reserved for the racetrack. Well, I hope you've enjoyed having a little look with me at this absolutely incredible vehicle, the likes of which there aren't too many in the world, the McLaren Senna, and this being number 200 of the 500 cars that were built in total, one of about 7 that we have here in South Africa. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, share and subscribe, and make sure you stay tuned for more videos to be coming very, very soon. Until next time.